and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. And it's so good to have you here with me, here in my English style cottage garden. And I just want to walk you around. Today is the first day of September. Yes, we're in a new month. And so let us walk around and enjoy the garden together. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, it is the first day of September. We have crossed over into September 1st from August. And you know what that means? That means that the season is going to change from summer to fall or autumn real soon. And we're going to see things differently happening in the garden. On this day, September 1st, right now, it is kind of warm and muggy in the garden early this morning. And you can tell that change is on the way. But yet, there's still a lot of good things to see. And the garden is trying its best to provide some joy and just goodness. And I say yes to that. I receive it in my life. I receive the goodness of the garden and the joy of the garden in my life for September. So I'm saying that September is going to be a great month, and that the garden is going to provide an abundance, and I'm going to enjoy this moment in time in my garden for this month of September. Here on the deck, I've made some changes because it was getting a little bit crowded, and I needed also to take some of this goodness that's on the deck and put into the beds, because of the fact that some of the plants that were giving me some really great color have now passed on. The perennials are finished. So I decided to move some pots to other parts of the garden. But it's still a lot of color still here on the deck, and a lot of good things are happening here. But for this year, I don't know why the calla lilies did not bloom, but the leaves are beautiful, and I am thankful for this, because with all of this color that I'm getting from the impatiens and the beautiful orange flowers of the nasturtium, you know, this just adds a balance. It just gives a little balance to the garden here. And I love how my basil is greening up. At first, I thought I was going to have to get rid of the basil, but it looks like it has gained a second wind of life here, and I've been just enjoying this basil. Now, this basil was from a pack of seeds from the Dollar Tree, the American Seeds basil. Beautiful, just a beautiful bunch of plants. And I know there are many plants there, basil plants, but I just love the fullness. You know me, I love fullness in the garden. Cinnamon basil in these containers. And you know what? These zinnias that I had picked on Wednesday during our Wednesday lives, I think 2 weeks ago, they're still looking good. And also the sedum here. Bees have just been enjoying the sedum. And the sedum is looking also good in the garden. So what I'm hoping is that the sedum will start to root, and I will then put the sedum in the garden in different pots and things. And next year they'll come back. I'll show you what I did last year and what has happened now to the sedum that I put in a pot. And it's coming back. It just looks so good right now. The deck has become such a wonderful place for me to just come out and enjoy my plants and flowers and things, but also a place for me to continue to garden and to experiment. I just love it. Right here in these two pots, I placed in the spring some hostas. The hosta was from a different part of the garden. Now, this hosta is from my Aunt Tanti's garden, and she died like 7 or 8, maybe 9 years ago. And from her garden, I dug up this hosta because I wanted to put it in my garden to remember her by. And also this hosta and the sedum, this particular sedum. So last year I had a little piece of this sedum and I put it in this pot and overwintered the sedum in the pot. And so now I have at this time both the sedum as well as the hosta, which is very sentimental for me because it reminds me of my Aunt Tanti and her garden. And I do like it in these pots, and they seem to be happy in the pots as well. So that's something that I'm considering doing in other parts of the garden, to put some sedum, definitely this sedum that I have on the deck there, in the pots and see how they overwinter. And I know they're going to do well because this has done fantastically well here. I also put some of that same hosta here in this pot, and I put it with some alyssum. I had a pack of seeds from the Dollar Tree of alyssum, and so I just threw the seeds in the pot with the hostas, and now it is deciding to flower, and it looks good. I kind of like that, the alyssum with the hosta. I know that my garden is transitioning whenever I see this plant starting to flower, because it is a shrub or plant that starts to flower in the fall. It's definitely a fall flowering plant, and it's like the last plant that blooms in the garden. And so it looks good here with the impatiens at this time, and the caladium and the yellow flowers. I think that it's beautiful and it's a nice filler, but it definitely tells me that the season is changing. am happy that I moved the other container that I had of this beautiful caladium here in this bed. It's in a pot, and I just put it in another pot, the plastic pot there. It looks good here. Just adding more color to this bed. Now with that white, it's going to fill out real nicely here for the fall. My impatiens, the red impatiens, continues to look really good. And I think next year what we will do is whatever impatiens we put on this side, we are going to make sure that we add it here. But the thing is that the sun hits this section really fierce in the afternoon. The afternoon sun is intense. But this section continues to receive shade from the trees. So we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to make sure that we water the plants there so that they can live, the impatiens can survive. But I'm just pleased with the red. I do love red and white in the garden. I love this. Here is also the hosta right here that I got from my Aunt Tanty's yard. It's right there, and it looks so good with the red. In this upper garden, I decided to place some of the sedum here in this bed, in this upper area, in different parts. And, you know, it's done okay here. I do like how it looks. And it's just adding a little bit more color. But there's so much going on. But it'll get larger as it goes along, I think. And it'll thicken up. Right now there's a lot of nice color in this bed with the zinnias and with the rose of Sharon tree. The bees are really loving it. And just to add more color back to this bed, I brought my 2 pots up here of the caladiums. And I think they are looking really good here. You know, I found out that this is celosia. I planted this celosia from seed and put it in the winter bottle method. Then took it out of that bottle and just plopped the whole thing down in the ground here. And now it is showing up. Isn't this pretty? They are very close, but the seeds are very, very small. I think there's some seeds going on there, growing. I don't know if it will self-seed. I'll try and see if I can save some, but I think that's so pretty. And it looks so good with what's happening here in the pots, along with the hydrangea and the roses. Doesn't that look nice? one thing I want to show you is how my zinnias, well, these are cosmos, but how the zinnias are behaving so well. You remember how I said I wanted the zinnias to just fill up and fill out here? And they love this spot. And the zinnias have just done exactly what I've wanted them to do. They are filling this spot here with my beautiful rose. Now, this is what I love. My mother pearl rose. It has definitely awakened for me, and I just love the flowers, the color, and it looks so great with the beautiful zinnias. The whole look, it's just fantastic. Such eye candy. I love this zinnia here, nice and full. But I also like the singles. Some people don't, but I do. I think it's just nice, the variety. I love this color, the zinnia with the beautiful rose. It's like gently leading us into the transition from summer to fall with this strong color, this beautiful color. It's so nice. The purple perella has been just a great addition to the garden because in amongst the green, it gives that variation. So it's not like one large sea of green, but it just blends so well. And with the coloring of the hydrangeas, it just makes everything look good. So this is what it looks like. That rich purple, almost black, from the purple perella with that fuchsia rich color of the impatiens and the color of the hydrangea blooms, the mophead hydrangea, just all coming together nicely throughout the garden. Upper garden area that I usually call my urban cottage garden section. It has had seen better days. However, it's still holding its own with some color. And I can see that the 4 o'clocks have definitely been showing up here, and a couple of the zinnias are now starting to show up, as well as the cosmos. Now, it was looking much better, much more exciting when we had the sunflowers. But the squirrels and the little yellow finch, the birds, were devouring those sunflowers. So I had to remove a lot of them, but because this is a multi-branch sort of sunflower, I decided to leave some of them because they have some blooms still here. Even though they're small, it's still very pretty. Bee balm sort of blend in nicely with the purple perilla. So it's not too bad, but I do need to come in and do some work here. What I do love is the hydrangea here, the flower of the hydrangea, and my sedum. So up front here is where I have the big patches of sedum, and they are looking really good. What I would love to do is just to make a hedge of the sedum, but every time I try to do that, something happens to them. So this is what it looks like right now. It's ready for an overhaul. But it is still, as I said, some color here. And we'll just let it transition. My naturalistic garden area is still looking good. I love how the zebra grass is just hanging out there. I realize that the garden is always evolving and changing. We're moving, as I said, from one season to the next. So we're at the end of the summer season here, and we can see that fall is coming soon. But in the meantime, we need to continue to enjoy every moment in our gardens. Just as the roses are deciding not to stop blooming, but to give us a last flush to remind us what it was like in June. We have to search it out, of course, but it's there. The beauty is there before us, and all we have to do is look for it. Like this beautiful Cornelia rose, which smells fantastic and looks so beautiful here, all by itself in my garden. Thank you for being with me here at Catherine's Garden and Home. And if you like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, and come and join me again when we take a walk around the garden. And I tend to do this on Sundays, give you a nice garden tour as we explore what is happening in Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, have a great day. Bye.